Hey everybody, Felix Stoffelbaker here. I wanted to make a video about Elon Musk and how he is doing something completely drastic and really changing the whole landscape of the financial sector just by buying Bitcoin, putting it on his balance sheet. And what I mean by that is that right now the Federal Reserve is in complete control. They are printing money at an alarming rate, and they're using what is often referred to as the Cantillon effect, where the people at the very closest to the money printing are the only ones who get the money, and the further you go down from the people printing the money, the less money actually gets into those hands and into that system. So it essentially stays at the top and just swirls around, allows people to buy penthouses and then take out collateral against those penthouses to go buy more penthouses. And it never actually goes down to the working class, the people who actually need the money the most. And what we see is that, a lot of these companies at the very top, when they get this money printing going, and it's always going, but whenever they get their share, what they do is, you can look at all the company on the stock market, on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ and all their top companies, the Fortune 500, what they do is they take that money that's been printed to them and they issue it to their executives in the form of large bonuses. They create positions, they create bonuses and give themselves almost unlimited money. And then you have the rest of that money that's given there not going back into research and development, not going back into hiring more workers, not going back into investing in new buildings or new products or new places to build. None of that. It goes into buying the stock back that is outstanding in the market. So they actually go to the stock market and buy up all the shares, which drives the price of the stock back up. And then they're also on the board of shareholders. Then they get higher dividends and higher bonuses as shareholders as well. So it's like a triple dipping scheme that is completely fraudulent. It was illegal for the longest time to buy your own stock, and then they made it legal again, and now we see companies that are completely shelled out, hollowed out by these CEOs that go in there. They're predatory, mercenary CEOs that are just power hungry for money, and they're able to do it with impunity. And what happened was Michael Saylor really changed the game, coming in and, in my opinion, being influenced by Block One to buy Bitcoin, because Block One purchased the voice.com domain name from MicroStrategy and really exposed them to crypto. And I believe he was buying personally before, but then in March of 2020, when everything went down, decided to, in a major way, buy a ton of Bitcoin. And he's up billions of dollars now because of that simple move. And what he did was able to give his playbook to other CEOs and offer it to them so that they would be able to do the same thing. He walks them through how he did it legally, how he went through all the hoops, how he, structured everything. And then other CEOs were able to follow suit with a lot less friction than when he had to, take a whole year to be able to set up his purchasing. And so, there's a Twitter exchange where Elon Musk was kind of asking Michael Saylor about that, and he was able to, more or less give him the playbook. He says that he doesn't discuss things that he talked about with other CEOs, but what ended up happening was Elon Musk ended up buying Bitcoin and holding it on his balance sheet for Tesla. And you might just think that that's, not a really big deal, or that he's just buying it to make money or whatever. But what you have to understand is he took money that was being printed as a result of that Cantillon effect, And instead of buying back his own stock, which is what everybody wanted him to do, what all the shareholders wanted him to do, what the Fed wanted him to do, he bought Bitcoin with that and effectively had a speculative attack on the Federal Reserve. And that is just mind-blowing. That is one of the biggest things I think happened in the past year. And just not a lot of people are talking about how massive that is. Because if you look back at the early 90s, George Soros did the same exact thing to the Bank of England. He had a speculative attack on I don't think it was the euro at that point, but he had a speculative attack on the Bank of England, and that was orchestrated by Stan Druckenmiller, who basically put $1 billion bet up, and then now he's worth tens of billions. He's got so many billions, and he's able to do all the stuff that he's doing. But he actually caused the Bank of England to collapse because of that. And I see the same thing playing out here with Elon Musk buying Bitcoin as a speculative attack on the Fed. And it's going to create a domino effect where these other corporations and companies who have been buying back their own stock and giving themselves all this cheap money that's being devalued even as they hold it will start to invest their money into Bitcoin and really take that power away from the Fed, and taking cheap money that's being printed and almost worthless and buying a super hard, the hardest in the world asset is going to put them completely out of business. We're going to a world where post-central banks are really in control, and the people who own the most Bitcoin will be the ones who have the most power, the most influence. You'll be able to buy congressmen, influence them with laws that you want to get passed. Similarly to the way you do it with the Fed right now, you could print billions of dollars and give tens of millions. Actually, if you look at it, the United States has the cheapest buy-off rates. In some cases, it's only $40,000, $50,000, and you can buy off a congressperson. But in other countries, they hold out for much higher prices. Everyone was shocked when they showed up in the U.S. and it only cost them a fraction of what it cost in other countries to be able to influence laws makers to make laws that benefit them and stomp out competition. And so when we see this playing out in a global scale, at first it shocked everybody at Tesla and caused the stock to go down a little bit, is because all those people don't understand what's happening. A lot of it was retail, but a lot of people saw this as a bad move, and those are the people that are going to end up getting hurt the most because they don't understand what's going on. But I see this as the dam breaking and all of that money starting to flow into Bitcoin. And if you have things like Bitcoin, like EOS, it's going to absolutely skyrocket because we're at the very bottom of the bull run, basically. And so when it goes up, there's going to be people who make $1 trillion individually. They'll be the first trillionaire because of that type of move that sparked all of this new investing into things like Bitcoin. So I just want to put that out there, that Elon Musk was doing a speculative attack on the Fed, whether he himself knows it or not. I'm sure he does. But this type of thing we see over and over again, and it usually has big implications that aren't necessarily seen right away. So I just want to put that out there. Stoffel Baker out.